Good day, my name's Awesomecrunch and welcome back to more Subnautica. Now, this episode I'm going to be showing you guys something that I stumbled across while I was doing a live stream last night, which is how the ending of Subnautica works. Now, how it actually is done is fascinating, and I commend the devs for doing it in the way that they did. It's really incredible, and without seeing this, I would have had absolutely no idea. So some of you might have already seen this if you did watch the stream that occurred last night, but for those of you that didn't, this may just blow your mind, so be prepared to see some serious stuff. So, as you all know, you can disable the weapon by going inside and doing all of that stuff, but Frank has told me about this command which is force rocket ready, which is super useful for creative mode or if you just want to do the ending, because it makes the rocket ready and there's no need to do any of the cure stuff with the Sea Emperor, which is really handy because that's what I used to have to do all of the time. So, basically, today I'm going to be showing you guys how the devs actually made the ending, and hopefully this will shock some of you, and hopefully it will make you appreciate the devs' work and their genius a little bit more. Okay, we're pretty much there now, so we're going to hop out of the water. And we'll take the lift up. Okay, now we're up here, let's head inside. And we'll ready up the rocket. Auxiliary power unit online. Communications array.
Auxiliary power unit online.
Online. And finally, the hydraulic system.
Communications systems array active.
Online. And we'll head up.
Pressurizing hydraulics.
So then we just need to boot up the primary CPU.
Primary computer systems active.
And activate life support.
Life support systems online.
Okay, so let's get the rocket launching, and I will show you this magic. So we need to have the commands up and ready with speed 0, because it's a pretty important part of this. Okay, so we've just begun to launch, so we're going to go into speed 0. The sound is continuing, but that doesn't matter, it doesn't affect what we're doing. And we're going to kill ourselves. Okay, so we've killed ourselves. It took a little bit of time because it bugs out occasionally when you do that. But as you'll see now, the skybox has turned completely starry, and the sun is kind of over there, and everything's a little bit messed up. The lighting is weird, and the moon is under the water. But you don't need to worry about that. It's completely normal. Also, the island has phased out of existence, but obviously that is all meant to happen, along with the aurora, for what is about to happen now. So what's currently happening is, as you can see, the rocket has already launched, but it's not off the platform. And you can actually see the debris heading towards the rocket. So if you go into the cockpit, you can now see from the perspective of the pilot, which is the player, and obviously, as you can see, all you can see is blackness because you can never look down. It doesn't let you look around, so all you can see is the darkness above you and the debris heading towards you. So if we put it into speed 0.3, we'll see this debris heading towards the cockpit a little bit quicker, but as you can see, the rocket is still not moving off the platform because it never launches, and that is the genius behind this by the devs, because as you can see, it just bounces off. The debris just bounces off and it falls into the ocean. But obviously we never know that we're not in space because all we can see is this debris heading towards us. So now we've cleared the debris field, so we should really be in space. But as you can see, we're still on the launch platform. Now what comes next is probably the most shocking bit for most people, I will assume. Is this massive planet. So you wonder, well, how the hell do they get you to see the planet then? And they do it because they are geniuses. Now look at this. There's just a massive planet within a planet. So that's how they do it. You just have a massive planet. It seems to be slightly locked to the view, but obviously because the view is locked to the cockpit, there's no reason for it not to be. But obviously this gives you a really in-depth look. So when you go into the cockpit, as you can see at the moment, it's a really big freaking planet. It takes up a lot of room. So when you go into the cockpit, all you can see when you're looking up is the planet right ahead of you with all of the islands and stuff on it. So if we put the speed up a little bit more, you can actually see the planet rotating. But of course, it's just on the planet, but you have no idea about this because at this point you look like you're in space. And this is the bit you can see, obviously, from there. So that is the planet rotating past you. That is possibly the floating island there. And that's the Aurora. Yeah, that's the floating island, that's the Aurora, and then there's the gun island over there. But obviously we're right next to it, and the gun island is actually going through the planet. And of course there is the moon. So if we go to speed 0, I'm actually interested in seeing how this works. So it's all connected as one kind of sprite, I guess you could call it, although it's not really a sprite. But if you get further and further out, it gets bigger and bigger by the looks of things. And it's actually planet-sized by the looks of it. And it's all connected as one thing. So if we go back into the cockpit, you can see that it all resets nicely, like how it's supposed to be viewed. And then when you do that, it looks like third person. Just get rid of the crane. That looks like third person, like you're going through space. And it looks incredible. So if we go into speed 0.3 now, we get the speed going up a little bit. This is around the time when we enter the warp gate. There's the Arctic biome, which is a massive hint to a possible expansion in the future, but yet again, not confirmed. So here we go. This is the fascinating bit for me. This is the warp tunnel, which is obviously what happens when you enter light speed to go into go through the phase gate, or to get to the phase gate. I'm not entirely sure. So this is how it works. It's a massive tube of light, and it just ends. And if you look at it from a third-person perspective, that is how it looks. It's just a tube that goes above the rocket, and the planet and that seem to have gone below the ocean now. That's a pretty trippy effect you got going on there. But as you can see, after all of this time, the rocket has never moved an inch. It stays exactly where it is. So if we put the speed to 0.1 now, you can really see how they managed to do this. The explosion, well, I say the explosion, the warp drive beginning, I guess you could call it. And then as you go inside, you can really see the warp effect that you go through in the cockpit, just in a little bit slower motion. So if we put the speed to 1, you can really see how they did it, and it is absolutely genius, and I commend the devs very, very highly for that. I never would have thought they did it like this before doing this on the stream, so I just thought it might be interesting for some of you to know how they did the ending, because it's a really, really good ending. And I had no idea how they did it. I legitimately thought that the rocket actually took off with you inside it, and it loaded another map, perhaps, which was the skybox. But obviously, you just stay on the planet for the entire time, and it is absolutely genius. But yeah, there you go, guys. That is just a quick video I wanted to do for you, so that you could see how the ending worked, because I found it fascinating. If you found it as equally fascinating as I did, then please do tell me in the comments below, or tell me what you thought it was before this, or if you knew this already, or if this amazes you like it amazed me. I'd be really interested to know your opinion on it. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it here. So if you did enjoy the video, please give it a like if you're feeling really, really generous. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ta-ra, my friends.